prime this thing in, or cut the pace? Stop and start.
Back with part 2 of the preview show. Glenn,
I'll take that as a no.
Glenn's going to start editing these soon.
No idea.
So we're up to the back half of the program, the last 4 from Rose Hill, the quaddie legs. And the first of those is the Premier's Prelude at 1800. Does that cut you out, Gord? Of course it does. You don't bet over 1600.
Yep, it does.
No bet none again?
No bet.
Make that $99 to Gord for another 33.
So $4.40 Allergic, $6 Marinostro, $6.50 Sacred Master, and $9 Loophole, $9.50 Orbeck, double figures the rest.
It's just a sickening race to do the form on, isn't
Also, not much happening here. Like Marinostro just leads.
it? Like, is it big odds at $6?
Yes.
I agree with that. The only negative I can find about it is I think it is a horse that does go particularly well for Ty.
Sure does. He's 3 wins this campaign.
Just see right, he gets it up there, he gets it chased, he gets it interested before the bend, and he chops into it like he can. He's a strong rider in that position, Ty.
Well, Wallace saying to Jennings, please speak to Ty. I mean, that's a must, isn't it? That's a certainty.
Well, yeah, well, I suppose even though Ty's got another ride on another Waller runner, it was interesting this race. I got down to number 7, I was like completely head effed because out of the top 7, 5 were Waller, and then I got to Danger, I nearly chucked something, but thank God I saw it was a stable change. Gave me some interest in the race. Like it was 5 Waller runs, I said, oh fucking Danger as well. That's 6, and then I didn't realise it was John Thompson, whose stable's flying.
Yeah, he's good.
Going good. Anyway, go through, Mark. So what are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that something's got to happen in terms of the speed here. Otherwise, it's a dawdle because Marinostro will go as slowly as he wants to go. I mean, they won't be going. Oh, well, Marinostro's a bit one pace, so you know, like 1800 should be or maybe all right. We'll just let him run along. It's like no. I mean, there's 12 runners. Something's got to, you know, maybe Janoob you set a light.
Maybe.
What about Sweet Fire racing close, third up, down in the weights?
I saw it was down the weights. I'm even getting bored at all about this race. Are you not talking about this at all? You're just no betting, are you?
No bet.
Another 33 there for Gord. Mark, I'm going to tip Marinostro on top, even with Kobe on it, even going up to the 1800. This horse has won 10 races from 29 starts. Ticks all the boxes at Rose Hill. Looks to get a very, very, very good run. If I was looking for dangers, I struggled to find dangers in the race. So possibly old mate Ty and Loophole could get into the finish. Song and Laughter, I don't know what to think there. And I'm tipping Marinostro. I think $6 is terrific odds. I don't think it'll be like that. I think it'll be $4.40 tomorrow. It'll be hard to beat.
Comment on the horses out of the lead up that the market's found up to the 1800. Allergic, who was big odds the other day and went well.
Went well. It finds itself second up, going up 300 metres here. It was SP profile, they bet 16-1 about it the other day, and all of a sudden I believe it's gone up favourite in some markets. Can't wait that.
Well, it's about the staying distance, you know. 1800 is the seesaw. It's like, you know, can't win below 1800.
It's obviously got some chance.
A different horse above 1800.
Yeah, it's obviously got some chance. But leave me out.
Sacred Master was put out of play there by the stablemate breaking down to Tales of Grim.
Yep.
But well found.
Well found again. They did finish a bit of a bunch. It's an average lead up. I'm confused by the race. I'm not comfortable with anything. I know where Marinostro is going to be. I know how it goes. I know it likes to win races. I know it fights. That'll do me. That's enough. What do you say?
I'm saying
Marinostro.
Well, I'm saying it's got a great chance, marked at 13-4.
Yeah.
I am tipping Sweet Fire, who's.
Yeah.
I just can't get that run out of my head against the mares before she went for a spell. The
Vigara
run. It was a fantastic run that day, and so she replicates the course, not quite course and distance, but it's Rose Hill 1800 as opposed to Rose Hill 1900. It's third up, positive rider change, blah blah blah. And Song and Laughter, I know she's won the 2 races at Canterbury, but she's coming off a win, you know, which does mean something for a mare now and then. And just going to have sneaky last crack Jay Collar. Look, it's another of those races where you want a price about your selection, and that'll do me.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about that race. I'm going to, yeah. From now on, I don't talk to races. I'm going to send everybody out there $33.
How do you think we'll go with this blower or chainsaw, getting this off the...
Oh, we're all right, aren't we?
I found a way to take the noise out, but we sound like we're in a we're in a tin can.
Oh, that'd be all right.
But then I couldn't get the lips to sync either, you know. It was just like, so I might have to try that this afternoon.
Let's get into race 7.
Race 7 is the spring preview. It's 1400 metres, and the market sees Testa Shadow resuming as favourite at $4.60.
That's unbelievable.
Cosmic Cube also resuming for new trainer Chris Waller at $5. Oxford Poet back to 1400 at $6. Ruling Dynasty, who surprised everyone with a bloody Bonza run the other day, $8. And Sadler's Lake $10. The recently gelded Shards $11. Oxford Poet obviously looks for the lead here. Cosmic Cube, fresh, may come out with him maybe, and
maybe
come across with him like...
When you first went to this race, did you automatically, I don't get markers, didn't you stamp Oxford Poet as the top pick?
Yeah.
Isn't it the favourite?
Yeah.
At about 440?
Well, I didn't stamp the top pick, but I expected it to be favourite, and I was super surprised about the price of Testa Shadow.
What is Testa Shadow?
Minus 7 kilos, that's what it is.
Okay, so...
You're a weights man?
Well, I'm not really. You just say that tongue in cheek. I'm not really. But it's first up. It's Deanie having to make decisions back in the field. He's not just going to chug along here. Deanie back in the field's no good to me. Deanie on the bunny's all right.
Yeah.
It's on speed here. Because with Zinzo and Eddie's come out, so...
Yeah,
all
right, yeah. Gord, you go first, mate.
Pozzie's up.
Yeah, keen on number 2, Cosmic Cube. Positive stable change. It was a good trial. It's at its home track now, and I think it's a horse with just sort of a bit more ability than the rest of these.
Upside.
I'm sort of sick of backing a lot of these horses with these low win ratios. It's got a far better win ratio, positive stable change, as I say, and the trial was actually quite nice. It sort of showed a bit of pace and then just wasn't pushed out, but held on nicely. So I'm expecting it to be well backed again.
Okay.
What did you say it was, Mark? $6 or something like that?
$5.
$5. Well, that's marginal, but yeah, I'll definitely be backing Cosmic Cube. And nothing else.
All right, my picks in the race, I'm tipping number 11, Shards. I expect it to sit on the fence, and if it's forward enough, it's had the 2 trials, but both times it did nothing. Like backing these lightly raced staying types over 1400 first up, I'm tipping it to run down Oxford Poet. I expect to be in front, and Cosmic Cube for 3rd.
What's the story with Ruling Dynasty? Why is it coming back to 1400? Like Pozzied up the other day, that's beautiful. You go, put him in the 1800, it's all rosy.
It seems another setup run for something further down the track, doesn't it?
Don't know what's going to
It's his 1400 metre barrier trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, sent high midnight back to the trials, but there's no trial, there's no 1200 metre trial for this horse, so he's still running 1400.
Well, plus you get paid to go around these races where you've got to pay for a barrier trial.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. But I suppose you can't necessarily experiment in a race. Unless you go to the stewards first and ask permission. Also I want to mention in the race is Sense of Occasion, who's changed trainer again. So Tony McAvoy was whacking around with it. It is a soft tracker, so it requires the juice out of the ground, and really was asked to do a lot in a little preparation recently. Just thought I'd mention it and move right along. I think Gord may have the keys to the kingdom in that race.
And you don't like Shards at all?
I don't mind Shards.
Don't mind Shards?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the horse that hasn't won for so long, I just...
Yeah, it won the 1300 first up 12 months ago, didn't it? Won the
last 4 runs are Group 1, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. You don't win a lot of those races. Unless you're like... When you do win a lot of those races, you aren't in this type of race.
I just tend not to find O'Shea horses as well. I don't think they're very good betting commodities for me personally, the way I do perform.
Yeah,
Race 8.
I struggle. Race 8 is the 1100 metre race on the program, and the market has Kangaroo Joy favourite at $3.40. Snoopy, who we haven't seen at all, not even a trial, is gelded and returning or coming up to Sydney. Team Hawks $4.
Wouldn't know what it looked like.
His Majesty, very stylish type he is, especially fresh, is $7. Sarajevo, Money Muncher is $8. El Sasso $8. And the last up winner, Grand Punto, is $12.
Well, a very, very thick little race, and a great race here for the Mounting Yard Mile. I don't want to give myself a rap here, but these are horses we all should know about. More than half the field's first up, and really interesting race. And all the horses in the market are first up.
but a very slow 1100 metre race. Like you've got the oldies, Decision Time and Arara trying to be, you know, part of the fray, and like Kangarilla Joy will just like, she has those on a plate.
Yep.
You know, I'm not talking about the end of the race, but certainly in terms of positioning, early positionings, like she's just there.
There she is.
Whereas the horse that I wanted to go to and couldn't end up finding was His Majesty, who you know he's going to get back to last and probe for runs, and that could work very well for him, because there is a chance that the on paces are like gasping despite the fact that the race hasn't been run that hard.
Yeah.
You know, they're sort of not genuine. Not.
What are you tipping, Gord? You're an 1100 metre man?
Well, I'm against 12 Snoopy. I just automatic pen job for me when you come from Melbourne to Sydney. That's it. Like,
He's got a bit of a
and
Stewie
simple.
Davidson form.
bit of
Gord,
a
you know, he's really
And I think, what
embraced
is it, $5 or something like that, taking 20% of the market. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
it might be
mate.
a horse, but I mean, Hawks, no trial, coming up from Melbourne, it's just not a bet for me. I'm interested in Kangarilla Joy, which is sort of stating the obvious. Not sure about what price to actually take. I don't know whether it's going to be...
Well, you'll be out there with me tomorrow. Mounting Yard Mile
Yeah.
will be your own. You won't be able to breathe with it
I
tomorrow.
was just, you didn't even need to spook yourself then, Glenn, because
You
I was
just
going
need,
to
like,
say
you go,
I am going to be backing it. How heavy I go on it
You're
will
going, Glenn,
depend on the
I need
Mount
some
Yard
air.
Mail.
And I go, Gord, you can finally breathe some because tickle cross.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so number 10, Kangarilla Joy. And not interested in anything else?
I'm interested in a horse here. I'm interested in El Sasso. I think it's a terrific price. Sets up well, third up. I like how it's had this 4 weeks off back to the 1100. I like the fact that he goes from Ty from barrier 1 back to Blake to barrier 10. I can see him, if he gets some sort of cart into the race at the 500, I think he'll be in the finish for sure, and I think he represents terrific value to beat Kangarilla Joy, who I think sets it well. Again, wouldn't know what Snoopy looked like, and the only other horse I was interested in and I intend to win on is Grand Punto. I just love backing Grand Punto. Honestly, I think it'd be $14 or $15.
So you're saying the Rose Hill 1200 metres to form?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that...
Well, the market's not. It's like
yeah,
less
I'm
than
saying that's the
50%.
horse I'm going to back. I like it was 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And Bishin is undefeated on El Sasso,
It's a good rider, Bishan.
but he's lacking in guts, El Sasso. I mean, the thing that's getting him, you know, like you've made the case, we've woven the case for El Sasso, and that's why, you know, at let's say $9, you go, yep, El Sasso, good enough.
It's good enough for me, that price. Plus it's third up, it's up and running. I think
Right,
it's good.
right.
What do you think, Mo?
Well,
Kangarilla Joy.
I'm saying Kangarilla Joy. I went there sort of partly because I went there last week, and I discovered yesterday that, you know, reconsidering things is there's nothing worse. You just death ride horses that piss in, like the last winner yesterday. And
He's only won by 6.5.
I know.
It was a
I
photo.
know, it's just sickening. So, Kangarilla Joy, yes. As I mentioned, and no one else wants to mention, His Majesty, he's dogged it a couple of times at Rose Hill, but I reckon he's dynamic fresh.
He is dynamic fresh, but you nailed it when you said they jump, he's wide, he goes back, he goes back, he goes back, and then he hooks wide and comes, what, can he pick him up?
No, he just he probes for runs. He wants to be held up. He wants to be held up.
Stop.
Split.
He's a dynamic
Late
horse.
split.
But I also, the other thing I went away with him a little bit was the early market 650 seems short.
Yeah, it's not a great price, but I mean,
It isn't a great price,
but he's a fashionable horse.
All right.
Well, because he runs around in the, what is it, the provincial championship or whatever, they're becoming fashionable these days.
Yeah, but you've seen his, you know, when he wins, he's dazzling.
He
You know,
is.
the first up win at Gosford, the first up win at Beaumont, like dazzling.
He is, doesn't he? It's
I
a good
mean,
horse to back in the run.
What's he done in a proper Saturday Metropolitan race?
Well, I'm saying he's finally resumes in a Saturday Metropolitan race at the time where he's at his best,
Okay.
whereas later on he's not at his best.
You're basically potting him in the price. I'm more Gord side there, so send another $33 for Gord, that's $132 up to well over.
Wow.
Can't fucking
I'll tell you what,
You're making me a fortune here. I hope it starts coming through.
That'd be nice.
I better put
Come
up.
to last.
I better put up an icon.
Come to last,
I
come
better
to
put
last.
up an icon on the site for buy Gord stuff, because there's already a facility to buy Mounting Yard Mail. Can't breathe without it. And
Can't breathe without it.
you can get my selections, or you can get my extended comprehensive set.
And we're looking to get other providers in other states and
Yes,
think-
watch this space, because
Watch this space.
there'll be some dazzling providers that we're lining up currently.
all our Punished Show providers have brushed us, gone, left. Except for our Hong Kong man, he
and we're
stayed
actually
solid.
upgrading them, aren't we? We're upgrading
That's
to
right, we're
tried
getting-
and true performers over a longer time
yeah,
period.
we're getting better ones. Don't worry.
We're not worried, but big hello to our Hong Kong man, solid, all right.
And the nightcap over 1350, benchmark 78, and the market sees Coolcraft at $5, Ever So Natural $5.50, We're Sure at $6. Sorry, I forgot to mention the Dingu Mountain is actually at the head of the markets at $4.60. Konachi at $7.
That's Kanachi's $7 in this. Like honestly, shouldn't it be $71?
I mean,
Come on, the PR of all PRs, the greatest ride we've ever seen in the history on a Wednesday.
I know,
It's
but
with a
it's one of
rubber
those.
stamp.
It's one of those things where you know that he was totally perfectly suited, but he did something as well. Which
No,
is
no,
why
he
he's
was
in the
just
market.
he was just so well written. The job Abdullah done there, that was the ride of the year. That was a freak ride.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Although he said on Twitter that he was a blind leading the blind. He said.
Anyway, let's move on.
He would say that. Anyway, Konachi's obviously part of the speed. Night Rocker is right there, and then Costanati is going to have to push on.
Yeah, you're going to push on.
Burn Baker backing up.
Burn Baker.
All that
backing.
alliteration,
All that stuff.
Like all our products.
like most of our site.
Easily for me to find the top here. The top here is Dingo Mountain. It's just good style of horse. Had his break, 56 days, coming off a win, had a trial.
Needs 2 scratchings to get a run.
Oh, how many's Bowler got in ahead of he'll scratch? No, it's going to be easy. Yeah, it does need 2 scratches. I didn't notice that. I might take top pick. Definitely from Mounting Yard Mailpole. I'm interested in 9 and 10 as horses. Need to see how they look. But at this stage, I'm tipping 14 from 11. We're sure.
I won't be losing on 14 Dingu Mountain, but my play in this race is number 11, We're Sure.
Me and Cool, we just think the same.
I don't like horses that have gone to Melbourne and come back at their next start, but the start after that they can really show something. Okay, so you've got that in your favour. Yeah, it would need to.
Wasn't it the lowest run of all time?
I very rarely let horses off for their last start. Gwen's the exact opposite as far as that's concerned. For me, if you do nothing last start, then that's it. Generally, you're getting penned. But on this, I just think it sets up really perfectly. I love the Golden Switch too, which is one of Mark's pearls. It was an inside barrier there, and now it gets to barrier 11. It's the right jockey. It's a stable in form, lightly race, good win ratios, which is something that you guys don't really talk about too much, but I'm sort of pretty keen on. And I think $11 is on offer at the moment.
$6, I wrote down.
It was $11 last night, so has that gone already?
That's right. Gord's been busy.
Yeah, so
Busy with the bowlers.
reasonably keen on 11, but won't be losing on 14.
What do you say, Max?
Oh look, I like what he says because it's coming out of a 3-year-old race, like the last 3-year-old race of the season. So the younger horses are getting up against the old crap. The horses often need to recalibrate their competitiveness coming back to Sydney.
Right.
But it was a fucking terrible run, and he's won 3 races first up. But you know, I respect the tip because it's an eligible tip in this race. Any comment on this O'Shea Shipper Salthouse? Of course, he produced that. What's his face? First up late last year, and it was like
as I
6
said,
to 4.
I mentioned 2 horses there, 10 and 9 for Mounting Yard Mailpole. Of course, I should have said number 7 as well. Definitely, you know, the weak links in the race, I think, in the marketplace are Kanachi and also Ever So Natural. I love Ever So Natural horse, but isn't he a highway horse?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had him marked down to really take out a highway, but not this race.
This seems a rich little race, and
well found in the market too at the moment.
And I think Escontinati won the lottery last start. I can't imagine him winning the lottery again. So there's a little bit to work round there. When Night Rocker's been going round and round and round, and maybe you can work around him as well. I don't know. It's just
for me, when horses like Salthouse win these foreign horses first up, that's it. I just lose.
Yeah, it's the 0 on the roulette wheel, isn't it?
Are you copping a 0?
Yeah.
All right, that's number 33 for good.
A question for you guys, which I
165.
didn't really make, because I mean it was quite heavily backed because of the Hugh Bowman booking last up at Coolcraft. What's its story? Just a bit of a weird one. No trial after 553 days.
Well,
heavily backed
Gwenda
first
doesn't
up.
trial them, and you know she's got plenty of jump outs.
Yeah.
But
I just had a question mark next to it.
Talon's horse.
Yeah.
What price they put early Rather Glen in that race? Oh, they looks there for some reason.
71.
$71
I think you're
Rather Glen.
entitled to double.
You think it should be longer than that?
Well, I think you're entitled to double.
I'd say they looks it because it was fresh. It's a fresh. It won a race second up at Wyong one day and really sprinted, and I just got it stuck in my head. Whatever that means.
Take Wing is the little sort of
Little doer.
nubby, freshy horse here.
There he is.
You know,
Nobby.
he's such a...
I call most horses Nobby.
Anyway, that'll do for this race, because honestly, I know punters want a lead on this race, but your best hope is probably Mounting Yard Mail. And
Now,
on that note,
before we go, because I'm now the big listener of this show and taking notes here, if you are following what we all liked, I think tomorrow you are on We're Sure for Sure in the last, and of course the earlier one, which was
Zirconic,
Oh,
Is it
yes,
Connie?
funny.
Snowden, Chin,
they're
double.
they're the two, and the other horse that I sort of brushed over that Mark woke me up to the fact is, I think from Glenn, and I think from you, I think you're right, that Sense of Occasion is going to get into the finish there, Demar. It's going to be big odds, it's going to get into a placing coming back in distance
There's
trials.
nothing worse being coat-tugged, is there? It's
Oh,
just
just-
a terrible feeling. I mean,
Remember when you were
it
mentioning I
feels
was
all right,
reading-
but then they lose and you go, oh, I got coat-tugged there.
Yeah.
We'll have the rant on Monday, get involved with the rant, email, can they send emails in?
They sure can email.
Email for sure.
So just contact us on the site, fill out the box, and we'll be able
I
to
was
read it
going
on
to
the
just
show.
one thing for the preview show as well. If you guys have a horse that you want us to talk about, we'll email in, obviously, fairly early.
Especially if
and
it's
we
second
can
up or
comment
third
on it.
up and you can ask
Yeah.
me some questions on how it was first up and get some guide.
Yeah.
All right, or you can get on the Twitter. So there's a couple of ways to. Eventually, we're going to have live questions. You know, like Q&A. You know,
Really?
web question from.
And
Oh, mate.
who's the tech person going to be?
Is it you?
I don't know.
Are we going to
but
have a bar underneath tracking Twitter feeds or something?
I think so.
We could employ Aaron to run along with signs. How funny would that be? See, Aaron, you finally cracked it. You're back, son. All right, well, that's the end of the review. Look forward to the rant. Make sure you all have a winning day tomorrow. Get involved with some of our products if you can, and if not, come out the track. Ask me what you like for free. Don't forget Gord's check for $165. He gave 4 no bets and something else, which was exciting. And there it is.
Thanks.
See ya.